So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So you probably heard a little bit about smart data and smart marketing, but like most people, you may not know exactly what it is or how it helps you get listings. So this presentation is going to kind of take you through and give you a short course on what smart data is, and hopefully at the end of it, you'll have a certified PhD in analytics. But why do we do it? The big question is, when you're looking at investing in any product as a realtor, you always have to ask the question why, right? So you're getting millions of products thrown at you every day about how it can help you grow your business. But the reality is that there's only a few products out there that are going to help you get listings. And what you see over and over, and statistically, is the most important thing for a realtor, whether you're starting up today or you've been a realtor for 20 years, is you got to be first in the door. So 75% of homeowners choose the first agent they have contact with prior to listing their home. That's a huge stat. And if you think about that for a second, that means if you're number 2, 3, 4, you basically have slim pickings. So how do you be first in the door? Well, you have to predict the future, right? So you have to know who's going to list their home before anyone else knows. So you might have competitors in your region that are marketing to the same people, maybe doing a variety of mail blasts or door knocking or phone calling, whatever it might be. But if you have the upper hand, if you know who's going to list their home first, then you can certainly be the first in the door to market to those people. More importantly, market to them even before they've made a decision on listing their home. And that's what we do at offrs.com. We predict future listings. And so over the last year, we work with thousands of realtors across the country. We've consistently predicted across the country, on average, 70% of the homes that were sold last year. And so how do we do that? Well, that's where the tough math comes in, right? We're talking about predictive analytics. It's really just a fancy word for taking past data and past behavior and predicting future behavior. So I can give you a variety of examples, but if you ever watch football on Sunday and you understand how Vegas places the odds and tells you who's going to win before the game even starts, they use predictive analytics. If you're in the middle of a snowstorm right here, our friends up north, and then you watch the weatherman consistently predict what's going to happen, obviously they leverage predictive analytics. So predictive analytics is actually in everybody's life. We just it's never really kind of talked about as far as what actually happens behind the scenes. Well, we've taken that same mathematics that have been used for decades and applied it to real estate. And that's what makes it unique. And so what allows us to kind of have such a high accuracy of predicting who's going to sell their home is the fact that we've licensed literally millions and millions of data points so that we process this data on a monthly basis and predict which homes are going to sell in your area by scoring them. And so you'll see this graph here that talks about, we look at information from how much they owe on their second mortgage, how many years they've lived there, if they've had any recent life events, a baby or kid that's graduated high school, the size of the house, everything you can imagine about the property and the property owner, we compile and we license from big data providers, and then we process our algorithm, and then we score it, make it simple from 0 to 100. The higher the score, the more likely that house is going to sell in the next 12 months. And that's how that's how we present it to you. So you don't have to be an expert in mathematics. You don't have to have a PhD in principal component analysis or all these fancy things that we use here. It's really just that simple. The higher the score, the more likely they're going to list their home. And those are the people that we want to target market to. So what does this math buy you? Well, here are 2 slides that kind of show you. If you currently are marketing and you currently are selling real estate or trying to get listings in your area, you're faced with a pretty daunting dilemma. Let's say your territory has 2,000 homes. Well, in most territories, only about 5% of homes will sell every year. So already your odds are kind of against you. They're stacked against you. This graph kind of represents that. You'll see the orange squares are the homes that will sell this year, and everything else are the homes that won't sell this year. So what does that mean? That means I have to market to 100% of these properties just to get a 5% chance of hitting somebody that might be listing their home. And so I have to spend a lot of money to hit every single home because I don't know which square on this block is going to actually sell. And so when you really add it up, when you start talking about phone calling or doing direct mailing or any sort of advertising or marketing, it gets very expensive. And more importantly, you're up against your competitors are doing the same thing. So if you have a competitor who is overspending or spending more than you, you're kind of in second or third place. And that puts us in a very big dilemma because we all know that 75% of the homeowners are going to choose the first person who walks through the door. So now with smart data, it actually changes the game completely and gives you a competitive advantage that nobody else will have. It eliminates all the homes that we know for sure aren't going to sell this year. brings it down to a quantifiable number that actually makes it very easy for you to go after those homes. And then more importantly, maintains the accuracy. So we're not going to predict 100%. We're going to predict on average around 70%, but that's still a dramatic amount of homes that are going to sell in the next year that you have an upper advantage to market to. And that's the key to smart data. It's really about saying, hey, am I improving my odds? Am I giving, when I spend $1 on marketing, or when I spend a time on the phone, or if I'm going to walk and put my running shoes on and walk and door knock, am I doing effective? Am I the most effective marketing, doing the best, most effective use of my marketing time and dollar? So that's what smart data buys you, and that's exactly why it's worth the investment. But what we realized early on is data is not enough. So just providing you the information about the people that you need to market to is not going to get you to the end zone, right? So we need to be able to give you the equipment and the tools to allow you to then market to those people effectively. And we call that smart marketing. So you've obviously learned about smart data. That's a huge shift in the industry right now, as far as knowing who's going to sell their house before they even sell it, and making sure you're first in the door. But now the challenge is, okay, how do we get your name, your brand, your face, your email, your postcard, whatever it might be, in front of those people effectively? So we build a platform that allows you to turn that smart data into leads. So let's talk about that for a second. So our marketing platform is very sophisticated, but it's simple to use. It's a fully integrated marketing platform for personalized outreach. If you understand best practices in real estate, you'll understand it's all about touches. And what do I mean by touch? It means that you need to basically get your brand in front of those homeowners as many times as you want, as you can. Whether it be a direct mail piece, phone call, email, etc., you need to touch every single homeowner as many times as you can, so that your name is in front of them and that you're the first person they call, or you happen to knock on their door, or you happen to have a marketing piece in front of them when they're making a decision. And our marketing platform enables you to do that. So we've baked in all of our smart data, all the information about property owners, everything you need, all in one platform. And with a click of a button, you can launch one of 6 campaigns to effectively market to any homeowner. So what are those 6 types of campaigns? Well, really, it's the 6 ways that are the only humanly possible ways that you can actually talk to another human being. We've all baked into our product. So there's no guesswork, there's no issues. You don't have to go outside of us to do anything to prospect. And so let's go through those 6 things. Well, the first thing is personalized one-to-one email. We're a big believer in personalized marketing. What does that mean? We have seen over and over through our statistics and through our data analytics of all of our customers that mass marketing is no longer working. We all know it doesn't work, but it's the only option that you've been given for the last 2, 3, 4 decades, right? When you go and you get your license and you start marketing to a territory, you got 2 options. You go out and start door knocking, or you start sending everybody mailers. Well, we all know that everybody hates junk mail, and door knocking, it's tiresome, it's hard, and it's not enough to move the needle and be, to get those listings you need to get quickly. So we kind of looked and did research and said, what's working for every single realtor out there, there's no question, is personalized marketing. So what do we mean by that? We mean one-to-one relationships, leveraging technologies that are available today, things like one-to-one email, phone outreach, sending digitally handwritten letters, targeted advertising, connecting on social media, or setting up an event or meeting in person, or door knocking, for example. So you think about these 6 ways that you can actually communicate to a person, 6 ways you can touch that person in order to generate a lead. These are all baked into our product and allows you to do so. And in the demonstration, I'll kind of show you how easy it is to do those things. So as I mentioned, to summarize kind of our platform, it allows you to personally outreach to every single homeowner in 6 different ways. And we do it with a click of a button. It's a powerful tool that on day 1, you can start targeting those people. We scored high with our algorithm, and you don't have to worry about, okay, am I effectively marketing these people or not? We track everything for you all in one place. And then what's even more beautiful is at the end of the day or at the end of the month, you can actually run a report, and it will show you every month these homes sold and how many of those homes that sold did you actually market to. So you can actually see how effective, for the first time, there's no other product that does this. For the first time, you'll be able to see how effective your marketing dollar is, and who you reached out to, and what leads that you didn't capture. And then you'll learn from that, and ultimately it will improve your business. The other thing that we also do, which definitely deserves a couple slides and a mention, is that we're the only real estate company, software company right now, that allows you to target advertise homeowners directly, meaning that you're not advertising to a zip code, you're not advertising and blasting it out to everybody. You're advertising specifically to the homeowner that we've defined as a smart target, or as somebody who's high scoring our algorithm. We're the only ones that do it for Facebook and Google right now that we can actually match the homeowner's name and address to a user on Google, the Google Ad Network or Facebook Ad Network, and deliver an ad directly to them. So think how powerful that is as far as being one click away at all times. And the reason why we believe in this type of advertising is because it's targeted, but more importantly is while you're out calling people, sending personalized one-on-one emails, even door knocking or hosting events or whatever you're doing in order to kind of build those personal relationships, in the background, this ad is working for you. It's being presented in front of these homeowners all the time, reminding you that you exist, reminding them that you're one click away when they actually decide to sell their home. And that's very powerful because you want to make sure that 24/7 your name is being pushed out there to the right people at the right time. So at this point, I'm sure most of you are thinking, great, Rich, this sounds amazing. You know, the data, I get it, makes sense. The marketing, of course, those are the 6 things some of those things you mentioned I already do today, and it sounds like your data is going to make it more effective. But at the end of the day, you're a business person just like we are, and you're saying, well, what is the results I can expect? You know, you're so smart with math, you're so smart with data. Certainly, you've done you've done the research on how effective your product is, and the answer is, of course, we have. So we have seen consistently people who use our product for the last few years. It actually ends up being a pretty simple average. And actually, this is actually math that's actually been validated by other experts in the industry. Is for every 50 people that you touch 20 plus times, meaning that your brand is seen by them. That means you called them, emailed them, you sent them a letter, you've knocked on their door, whatever technique that you're using, one or all. If you hit them 20 times, you can expect to get a listing appointment. And knowing in the back of your mind that this is math that actually it's just the odds, and we've seen it over and over from California to Tennessee to New York, our agents have consistently seen this ratio over and over. So it's just about using our tool, following our program, and you'll get results. And that should be somewhat comforting to hear because very few companies, you know, put that out there and say, hey, look, if you use our tool the way we're saying it, you're going to get results, you're going to get an ROI. So how does this all work? We're going to kind of toggle over to a demo in a second, but first I want to kind of explain to you kind of how we work as a company. We have divided up the United States into territories, and these territories are based on U.S. Census Tract. So the U.S. Census Tract is a little bit smaller than a zip code. There's usually about 5 to 6 census tracts in a zip code. Usually a census tract has somewhere between 1,500 to 3,000 properties. So it's a nice, healthy neighborhood. It's a nice, healthy farming area for people to kind of go after. It also happens to be something that most agents can really go after and keep them busy. And we license every territory exclusively to one agent. And the reason why we do that is we believe our data is valuable, but it's exponentially valuable if it's only in the hands of one agent, because there's no way anybody else would have this information. You are the first one to have that information and take advantage of it. And as we update our score on a monthly basis, you're the first one to be, you know, to have that information does have that competitive advantage to be first in the door. If we were to sell our information to 5, 10, 20 agents, and believe me, I wish I could, but it would completely diminish the value of our product to you. So we exclusively license one territory to one agent, which actually should be something that excites you as well. As part of that license fee that you pay on a monthly basis, you get full access to our smart data. And when I say smart data, I don't just mean that we score every property. We actually provide you all the information about the property we can. So we have partnerships with over 20 data providers, all the big guys. We try to get his phone numbers, emails, social media links, addresses, any information we can get about the property owner that's going to help you build that relationship and help you personalize, market them to them personally, we will go out and get. And so that is a constant effort that we consistently provide you on a month-to-month basis, and that's what you're paying for at the core. Then we provide you our entire marketing platform, which you'll see in a second. You'll see that it's very robust and very feature-rich. And we also provide you, if you choose to do the advertising on Facebook and Google and target market those homeowners, it's an optional feature that we have. It does require you to spend money on Facebook and Google, so if it's in your budget, you certainly can do so. But we've already built the campaign for you. So we provide you the ads, the landing pages, as well as all the data and analytics for you. So you don't have to go out and hire a graphic designer or go build a website or have to worry about all those expenses. We provide it to you. If you're ready to launch an ad campaign, we can launch an ad campaign for you in 24 hours, fully loaded. And then the final piece, which I think is probably the most invaluable component, is our proven program. We work with thousands of agents. We see what works, we see what doesn't work. We see what scripts work, we see what ads work, we see what people click on, we see what people ignore. And this is important because you are getting the benefit of that expertise. We're pulling things that are working and providing them to you. So if you think about it as a constant evolution of what's working in closing listings, you're privy to that channel, and you and only you in your market. So those four components are really what you're licensing. You're licensing our smart data, our smart marketing, the ability to have this amazing capability of targeting people online that nobody else provides, and then of course the value of our proven program. All right, so let's go ahead and toggle over. At this point, we're right around 15 minutes, so as I promised. And so if you have any questions, please go ahead and jot them in the question window. That way I'll make sure that I don't miss anything. And again, I want to be sensitive of everybody's time. So I want to make sure that we have some questions in the queue when we finish the demo here. All right, so I'm over at the demo now. So you should see our homepage at this point. Let me know if you don't. And so you'll see this as well when you go to offrs.com, offrs.com. The first thing you'll see is find your territory. So we obviously encourage you first to set up an account. You can do that in the corner here, set up your account. And all you have to do is give us your information. And the reason why we do that is we want to, if you want to see pricing and if you want to see a little bit more information about the territories, we only provide that if you're a registered user. Obviously, we don't want to make that completely public. So we definitely encourage you to sign up. It's to see your pricing, kind of view your territory, see what's available. Go ahead and do that now or at the end of the webinar. And then once you are ready, then you click on Find Your Territory. And then you just type in your zip code to search for what territories are available in your area. And so what should happen is it should pop up a map interface. And what you'll see is, you'll see a red line here that outlines the zip code. But then you'll see all the territories that overlap into that zip code. Now, these are all based on US Census tracts. So that's why they're weird shapes and so forth. But for the most part, they're all they all have about the same number of homes, same number of density, et cetera. And so as you click on each one of these, you'll see information pop up over here on the right side. You'll see if you've signed up and registered, you'll see pricing, and you'll see the total number of properties that we've scored, the total number of seller prospects. These are what we call high scoring properties. Those are ones that scored over 70. And then you'll see how our data has performed over the last month. Over the last year. So each month we download our data from our data providers and we see what's sold. And then we obviously match that up with our scoring a year before. And then that's, of course, how we look at accuracy. So you'll see territories ranging from 50% to 70%. Typically what happens is as more homes are sold or as more data we get on a monthly basis, our accuracy improves. So, accuracy typically ranges around there. The good news is whether it's 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, it's a huge advantage because we're still providing all the people and we've greatly reduced the number of homes you need to market to. And our accuracy will improve, at the more homes that you choose to contact. So you don't have to stop at only homes scored over 70. You can continue to market to homes scored over 50 and your accuracy will improve. And that's something to also think about. So once you, now you'll see some of them are red, which means that they've been taken and licensed by another realtor. But if it's something of very high interest to you, you can simply join the waiting list as well, which is real simple as clicking a button here. But once you've actually clicked on the territory that you actually want to get and you're ready to go, all you have to do is click on Purchase License, and then that'll take you through the process of actually licensing the data. So now once you've actually licensed the data, you will log right in to your account and be able to kind of see our software here. So I'm logged into an agent's account. So this is Sally Smith over here. And so right off the bat, you'll see some pretty cool stuff. You'll see kind of how you're doing, right? So, we're all self-motivated. We want to get out there and get the work done. We want to see how we perform. And it's also great to kind of see historically setting goals and achieving them. So when you look at the dashboard, the first thing you see is our touches graph, and it shows you how many touches that you did every day. So how many emails, how many calls, how many social media connections, how many letters you sent out, whatever you're doing, you can kind of track your success on a day-to-day basis here. And then down here, we show you on a monthly basis. So, what you want to do if you want to be successful, right, is to say, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to do, 200 touches a month, and you want to make sure you hit those goals. And whether it's emails, calls, letters, social media, whatever your channel that you're wanting to use, you can do it here. And then over here we have marketing. We separate that out, where if you're going to do a direct mail or if you're going to do an online ad, we also track that. And what's cool about this is if you see kind of any bump in your business, if you start getting more calls, you start getting more conversions on your website, maybe even get more listings, you can kind of look back and go, hey, what did I do during January that made February so good? And you can kind of, again, track success, right? And then we also have it make it real simple for you to kind of see what you've done recently, recent outreach, who you've called or who you've talked to or emailed. And then also we have a cool little tab called engagement. So anybody who's clicked on an email or opened your email or responded to a direct mail or anything like that, we put in here in engagement. So we kind of keep like a little bit of an ongoing progress of leads that are available for you to see. So, but that's just kind of the dashboard. So I'm gonna go ahead and go right over to the meat of the product, which is under targets. So we call every property owner a target. And what we mean by that is, we're in the business of target marketing. So these are people that we've scored and that we're going to actually try to go out, build a relationship with, get our branding from them, et cetera. So the first thing you'll see is the score. And as you kind of go through, we have a little arrow over here. You can kind of tab through every single property owner. So in this territory, there's about 1,200 homes. So you can kind of go through every, by score. This is ranked by score right now. You can kind of look at every single owner. The second column, you'll see touches. And what's cool about that is we actually track what you did. So if we send out direct mails, if we're doing a personalized letter, you send them an email, we track every touch. Now think about how cool that is. So in the grand scheme of things, most of you probably work one or two neighborhoods. And you might be the expert of the neighborhood. You might know a lot of people. Your sphere might be very large. But think about the idea of touching every single person who lives in your neighborhood 20 times and what kind of results that could produce for you. And the only reason, honestly, I believe that you potentially aren't doing that today is just because it's not being tracked. Nobody's sitting there going, hey, we got to touch William 14 more times. Hey, we've got to touch Walter 18 more times. Our product is constantly there, almost like a marketing assistant saying, hey, we got to get on to Walter. What can we do to Walter today? Can we send him an email? Do we want to place a phone call? Do you want to follow him on Pinterest? What do you want to see what they're comment on his Twitter account? What are we going to do to touch this person? And it gives you direction for the first time, because I know for the fact, I've been doing marketing for quite some time, and 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, it's a very, very difficult thing to understand where your marketing is going. You kind of throw money at something, it kind of goes out there in the wind, and you don't really know what the results are. For the first time, you'll see exactly what your results are. Because if you get that listing, or you get this person to respond to an email or follow up with, or respond to a direct mail or a call, you can go right into our system and say, what did I do to Walter? What made Walter so interested in me? Oh man, I sent him that email. Well, you know what? That email worked. Well, guess what I'm going to do with that email? I'm going to use that from now on to everybody, right? So you can actually become a better marketer, which is really the goal of our product. You'll also see a variety of other things. You'll see we have some quick links here where you can kind of quickly pull up the information, send an email to William, add a note if you've done something, if you've contacted him, called him, etc. But the more important thing, or more cool thing, is you can actually click on William here, and you can actually show what we call our extended profile. So we actually have more information that you could ever ask for about William here. We have the score, how many times you've touched, but then we have all this information. You have the entire activity window of all the things that you've done with William. Then you actually can click on email, call, or letter and take action. So if I want to send William an email, I can learn a little bit about William over here. I can see that he's a professional, he's an investor, so I know that if I'm going to send him an email, that he doesn't even live, he lives in a different city, so I can even kind of refer to where he lives, or I can say, hey, I know you have an investment property on this street. I don't know if we've met each other. I can probably help you if you're looking to sell, etc. You can also, of course, click, and then you can actually load a script. So if you want to load up a script and say, you know what, I'm going to send William a neighborhood survey that I created for investor-owned properties, and the survey could ask questions about their property to better help them understand the values of the neighborhood. And it's a great technique that we've used over and over and over that can generate interest. And William will fill out the survey, and then he'll see you as the expert. And guess what? He'll probably call you when he's looking to list the home. You can also call him directly. We have a bunch of call scripts. Maybe you just sold an investment property, so you pull up the just sold thing and just kind of go through a script. Call up William and say, hey, I just wanted to place a call to you. I know you have an investment property. Just so you know, I just sold one right down the street from you. I'd love to kind of give you, as a courtesy, I wanted to tell you what I sold it for. and kind of give you a little bit of understanding of the negotiation that happens, just so you could place a better value on your property. People love that kind of stuff. And then let's say I want to get more personalized and send William a letter, and I just placed a phone call with him. I could pull up the after phone call template for the letter, and I could literally customize it. See you next summer. And, let's say you called him and you said, I'll be in town next summer. Save that letter. And then what we'll do is we'll actually digitally print, with a digital handwritten font. We'll actually print up that letter for you. You can save that, download it, email it to them, or you can mail it to them, or you can mail it right through us with a click of a button and pay. It's only costs $1 for us to print, post it, and send it for you. So you can see already all the powerful tools you have to build a relationship with William. And what you've kind of seen in the last 1 minute is what we call personalized one-to-one marketing. I can tell you one thing that, and I don't even have to know William, and I definitely don't need smart data to understand this. I can guarantee you that William doesn't like postcards, and I can guarantee you William doesn't like spam. And I know William doesn't like telemarketing. But it doesn't mean that William's not willing to read a nice email from somebody in the neighborhood, take a call from an expert that wants to make him aware of property value increase, and he certainly probably wouldn't mind a handwritten letter from a person that shares the same interests he does, have ownership of property in the same neighborhood. So this is not, email, phone, mail is not bad unless it's misused, and this is why our product has helped realtors be successful. It's because we're telling them and showing them and giving them the tools on how to better market themselves. Every realtor that's been successful will say the same thing. I became successful because I built relationships. I reached out. I built the neighborhood. I went out and had people know who I was. Thus, I was first in the door. That's all our tool does. It just makes it very easy, starts you on the right foot. And because we've used smart data, the doors you start knocking on or the letters you start sending are going to get you first in the door on the people that are most likely to sell. Make sense? So the next thing we also provide you after kind of looking at the targets and going through personalized marketing is you can go right to our online ads dashboard. So if you do decide to launch those online ads, it's really cool. We give another dashboard that shows you how many times ads were clicked, how many people are visiting your site or your landing page. You can launch numerous campaigns. If you want to target specific people, we allow you to target anybody you want. So if you want to target people who own homes that are valued over $300,000, you can do so by creating a target list. We also show you anybody that registers on your landing page obviously shows up as a lead, and then anybody who visits your landing page, if we can actually match them to our consumer database. We have one of the largest consumer databases in the real estate marketing industry. We have over 280 million records, and so we actually can match it back to our consumer records. And if we find a match, if we can find an email or even match to a property, we will match it. And this is just by somebody clicking on your ad, not filling out a form. And then we can drive you back to a property, which you can then get a hot lead and follow up with and then close that listing. So you can see how powerful our ad platform is, something that nobody else does in the industry. It's worth a look if you're going to spend money on online ads. And finally, as I promised in my presentation, what I think is one of the coolest things is because I put a lot of work in what I do, and I take it serious, and I want to be successful. And the only way to be successful is know what's working, what's not working, right? So we give it that to you. So you can go to your territory report, click on your territory stats, and you can automatically say, okay, here's the property sales report. So what you got here is the gray line here are what's sold in my territory. And the blue line is what's sold in my territory that was high scoring. So this is our accuracy algorithm showing you right here. Boom. So in eight properties. So in October, 17 properties sold, and we scored 13 of them high, which means, well, guess what? If I'm the realtor, guess what, Rich? Did you talk to those 13 people? Well, scroll down. Actually, I didn't. I was lazy and I just didn't get off my butt, right? So what these graphs will show you down here is I emailed 1.5% of them, but everybody else I kind of missed. Well, why aren't you emailing these people? Why aren't you calling them? Why aren't you direct mailing? Why aren't you doing something? And if you do that, you'll see the graph down here change, right? You'll see results, which is why you would invest in this product to begin with, because you're going to go out, you're going to contact these people, and you're going to ultimately get listings. But it's also great to see what's possible, what's going to happen. Is the data working? Absolutely. Am I working? Maybe not. So I need to amp it up and get it rocking. We also provide a variety of other things, reports, ad performance, things that are really cool, and just a variety of cool stuff, eye candy. So you can actually drill into your territory and say, you know what, Rich, I appreciate you telling me, giving me numbers, but I'm a visual guy. Where do you see the houses selling in my neighborhood? Well, guess what? We give you a heat map. Oh, it looks like this area is selling. So think about this for a second. You know how long it would take to door knock this neighborhood street by street? Well, guess what? I'm just going to door knock here, and I'm going to door knock here. I'll spend an afternoon right around this lake. You know what? Because all the high scoring properties, if I click on this one, are grouped right there. Look at that. Look at that gold mine, right? So that's all I'm going to do. And I don't know what's going on in this street, but I'm going to try my hardest to hit every single door. Versus, you know what? I could spend a whole afternoon walking down this street, and I hit, all this, and I would hit nobody. So think about how data can help you be more efficient, be more effective at what you're already doing, right? All right, so I'm way past 2:30, and I promised you 2:30 was where I was going to stop. But as you can see, we have some really, really cool stuff. I'd love to kind of show you more. Unfortunately, I want to be sensitive of the time and make sure that I'm cautious of your day as well and your schedule. If you want more information, if you want to see more details about this, I highly encourage you to sign up, register. If you do so, one of our reps will reach out to you and be happy to give you a more demo, answer any questions you have. And more importantly, I'm sure most of you have unique questions that only they could provide the answers for. So please do that. Or if you're not comfortable registering right now, you can just email us at info@offrs.com, info@offrs.com, and that'll go right to somebody, one of our experts, and they'll reach out to you as well. And I just want to close off on saying, please do register. Please, if you want to look at territories, you're more than happy to do so.